prepared for this next hurricane that's going to come rolling through. And hopefully it won't be that bad. We'll see. But let's go for a little pre-ride, hurricane ride with my son. Ready to roll? Let's fire these babies up. Yeah, we got a little rain, but that's all right, right? Got my son Brett behind me, and he's like, what the F, dude? What are we doing? I said, boy, we're gonna go out in the rain. Cold tires, middle lane. Big no-no in the rain. I'll tell you firsthand, that was one of my first drops that I had as a kid, or younger. I was like 19 or 20 years old. I blipped the throttle a little too much on cold tires right after firing it up, just after a little rain in Chicago, and I dumped ZX7R. That was a nice bike. You know what I'm gonna do, actually? Speaking of rain, let's go to street mode. There she is in street mode right there. Wheelie control set at 5. Wow. And the rest are like 4 and 3s. There's a little tropical cell forming right off the coast in South Florida. But Hurricane Milton, that system really exploded into a pretty serious storm right now. It's sitting off the Yucatan, and there's a high pressure that's off of Cuba that's gonna eventually turn it and head toward Tampa and Orlando. But you just don't know. Today is Monday, and they're saying it looks like around Wednesday night landfall. But if that high pressure technically backs up, because the storm is so big right now, with these storms you really don't know until like a day or two before to get the cone, but within like 150 miles. Especially these big storms that get this big can actually, they can steer themselves almost. Whereas, you know, you have a low pressure, I mean, a hurricane itself is a low, and then you have the high pressures that turn clockwise. But I know a little bit about this because I have to. I'm always on the water. I've actually been through 2 hurricanes at sea. That's not fun. One in the Pacific and one in the Atlantic. The last one was 2019 Hurricane Lorena. I was off of the Baja Peninsula. Oh, just past it, off of Mexico. And there was nowhere we could go except keep on going to the Panama Canal and actually run right smack through this hurricane. Let me tell you, that was on the brutal side. I'm not planning on doing it again, I'll tell you that. Anyway, today, got my man. God, it's good to see him. Oh, good to be back. I've been gone for 3 or 4 days, out riding with my son. He's got training in about an hour. He said, Dad, let's go for a ride. I said, oh yeah, that's the plan. Rain or shine. Hey, I'm getting a bunch of great comments from you guys too, regarding the exhaust and the comparison between these 2 bikes, and you guys are fantastic. The amount of information that you guys have sent me has been amazing. I really appreciate it. I mean, seriously, you guys know what you're talking about. And that's what this channel is all about. I've been riding all my life, but it's a continuing learning experience. And regarding the rain, everybody gets caught in the rain. But I definitely stay away from the middle lane here. I'm riding in this lane, Brett's in another lane right now as we speak behind me, staggered. Unless you see a bunch of standing water on the street, just avoid that. It does not mean that, and just take it down a few notches. And you know what's cool about these bikes is they have all the, like I'm riding in street mode. How cool is that? I was mentioning, yeah, I did. I went down one time on cold tires, just excited to go out riding. Just got done raining. So what happens is all the oil and grease and all that crap from the cars that go up and down the street in the middle lane, right after it rains, it pops up and it gets really, really greasy. And that's how I went down. I was stupid. I got on the throttle too early. They didn't have any traction control back in those days in a ZX7. And that was an awesome bike. It was the blue and green one. And I just trashed the whole left side of the fairing. Just absolutely trashed it. I don't know, it cost me a lot of cash. But this is the ride before the hurricane. And I hope everyone fares well and is preparing, and I'll do a ride right after the hurricane. We'll do the same route. I'm in Orlando. So technically we shouldn't get it that bad if it's 85, 90 miles an hour sustained. There'll be gusts in the rain, in the bands. But when it gets like 100 plus, 105, 110 plus sustained, that's when it gets pretty brutal. I mean, that's like a sustained wind for like 8 hours. I mean, that's when the hurricanes get nasty. Yeah, another thing with the rain too, and this is, we're out here in the middle of traffic. You need to definitely be more aware. People are less aware as well, or they can't see as well. Now, if you guys have noticed too, what Brett and I will do before we ride is I'm taking the lead today, so I'm staying in this lane, the left side of this lane, throughout the ride. It's only going to be a half hour probably riding this rain, but that way we know, especially with the visibility's down too. It's we know where each other is at all times. It's good to get out and ride in the rain, because everyone does get caught in the rain. And there's nothing to be afraid of. What's the worst rain you guys have been in? I've been in some nasty rains where you're stuck in the highway for about 5 miles when that overpass never shows up. I remember one time actually in Chicago. This is right before we got married. I drove in 33, 34 degrees for 6 hours. That's how bad she got me, which is a good thing. It was our 32nd anniversary, by the way, my beautiful wife. That's my best friend right there. Fact. But I tell you what, that was probably, I still remember that ride-wise, that was the worst freaking ride that I've ever had. I had to pull over literally every 10 minutes. I was so freaking cold. That was on my GSXR 1100. I remember it distinctly. Absolutely freezing, 65 miles an hour. I think it was 32 degrees. Oh, was it brutal. Yeah, but the deal was she was still in school. I graduated a little earlier, and I was like, man, I can't have her down there without me. That's when I realized I fell in love, So I was like, what the heck? There's no way. I get my ass on my bike. I'm driving 6 hours and freezing. I don't care. In the rain. They said it was going to be nice. And if you get a chance, you see a coffee shop or something like that, pull over, get you some coffee. That's what I do in the rain. Hey, you guys, let me know if you're going to come down to Daytona, anybody. The races, the pros are going to be there the 19th through the 20th, which is absolutely awesome. You realize how genuinely good they are when you see them in person. And then the track day is on the 21st, and you never know, it might be raining. That's why it's good to get out. And there's completely different lines on a wet day and a dry day. I'm looking forward to it because I've tracked a bunch of cars at Daytona. I just never tracked a bike, so it's going to be a little different. I was wondering if I should bring some diapers. No, that's going to be a good time. They'll probably have, I know they'll have some great instructors, and I'll be in the classroom. I'm going to go through the whole process in the novice group and where I belong. I even do that when I go to new tracks in the car, to be honest with you. I'll learn the track first, get the lines down, and go easy. I tell you what, I mean, that's one thing I do emphasize on any kind of track day is I'm not getting paid for it, so there's only so much I'm gonna push. Another thing I do is I get track insurance for the car, for the bike. Because if someone boots you in the wall, you gotta pay for your own crap. That's just the way it is. Wow. Alright, this is getting brutal. He's dressed like my man's like, what are we doing? I need to get one of those cardios so we can both hear each other. But back to the rain though. I mean, it's like I said, it's nothing to be, you don't need to freak out about it. Just avoid the puddles and avoid the middle section of each lane. Make sure your tires are in good shape. And it's all G. If you would have told me back when I was 20 years old that I was going to be having my son riding with him, I would never dream. It's so cool. It's like yesterday that I was 20 years old and riding like Rip my son Brett is right now, but this is absolutely priceless, and I can't say that enough. Hey, you know what else I'm thinking about doing? But I just need to have this, once the subs get up to I think 1,000, I'll be able to live stream, and I really want to do that. I want to live stream and throw the video up on YouTube, but I think I prefer to live stream because that's a real deal, especially like going to like the quarter-mile racetrack and stuff. That way you see me if I'm a yo-yo and I start messing up, there's no hiding it, right? No, I think I would love to do that on Twitch, or I think YouTube. I need 1,000 subscribers to start. So if you guys get a chance and you're watching these views and you're watching the videos, hey man, it's free, hit that subscribe button. I'm having a blast. If you're watching me ride in the rain, I hope you're having a blast too. This is cool. We got a lot of good rides coming up. This guy's gonna turn right into me. This is what happened. To see this median right here, I had a car go from that lane, and I saw it happening. I saw her wheels, so I sped up, and she went in that lane and just to do a U-turn over through the median, but wailed on my rear end and threw me out. That was on my old Ninja 900 that I had. First thing I did with that check to pay for that bike was go to the GSXR, the Suzuki store. That's where I bought that 1100. That was a good first little rain ride. I was telling Brett, it's nothing to be afraid of because you're going to get caught in the rain. It's just the way it is. You'll be surprised. You got good tires. You'll be surprised. I mean, take it down a few notches and get used to it. But you'll be surprised how normal you can drive in the rain. It's actually not nearly as bad as you think, with the exception of being soaked and a little cold. But I'm nice and warm because I have a Ducati V4. with leg warmers. It's a fact. That's the only con, but it's not a con because it's a bonus to have that today. Built-in leg warmers, 2 cylinders. There's my con. I found it on my Ducati, and I love it. I'm gonna buy another one. Brand new one, V4S ordered. Hey, I got a really cool idea. How about we try live streaming from the garage during the hurricane with the laptop? I can do live streams once we get 1,000 subscribers on the phone, and we are gonna try to go live on YouTube in Chili's garage. Be there or be talked about.